So Ray,
Who is that?
that's Pat.
Hi, Pat.
I'm right behind you, mate.
Okay.
And I'm just going to come up on your left. Can you walk and talk?
Yeah, okay, mate.
Just slow down, you're going too bloody fast for me.
The week's been absolutely amazing. The members have just made it so much easier, and the support team have been fantastic. And now I'm going to embarrass myself by falling over.
Alright.
Okay.
Do you want me to turn the camera off?
No, go on. If I get up in one, I'll put it on.
Because I'm not going to. This will just show me the levels of awesomeness of Raymond Evans.
Yay! I made it in one.
You couldn't have done that this time last week.
I've got even bloody stood up once last time last week. This is a sport I could easily adapt to, but also I want to research how amputees can use these skis better with getting the edges down, the gripping, the knee. It might not have to be a technical issue, it might be just a physical issue of learning what muscles to use. It's easy for people to see these sort of trips for former service personnel as a bit of a jolly, and it is. It's enjoyable, undeniably, but it's much more than that, because it's reconnecting with the person you once was, that person you was proud to be. And when you become injured as a service person, you lose that sense of self, and often with that comes you lose self-esteem, and getting out and reconnecting with that person you once was, it brings that back. It's much more than a holiday, much more than a jolly. It means so much.
So I think the main part that I've enjoyed is being around people who are in similar circumstances, knowing what kind of support is going to be available to me when I leave the Navy. Yeah, and just kind of making friends and who understand what you're going through.
I knew it was going to be tough, a new challenge, a challenge like I'd not experienced before. I've done downhill skiing, but never anything like this, and it is completely different. Yeah. So it has been a baptism of fire, but thoroughly enjoyable at the same time. The pain and the grit and determination by all of us has been absolutely astounding. So I'm really pleased. It's kind of lived up to exactly what I thought it would be, and more.
Despite the fact we didn't get the crossing in.
Yeah, so, you know, it is a disappointment that we couldn't do that, but I think there's been plenty of lessons identified from that to be able to in the future. You know, I'm determined to do it at some point. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So if we were doing this next year, you'd be up for it?
Definitely, absolutely.
You have done the most amazing thing, but you've both got slightly unique circumstances. So Lee is doing a bit of a demonstration now of how unique he is. There he is, his foot is in the boot, which is in the ski. So how have you managed cross-country skiing with a prosthetic?
When I learnt to run, it was a case of running by numbers. So lift 1, 2, 3, 4. I thought it would be very similar to skiing, but there's a lot more involved with the skiing, twisting an ankle. I still have issues of my leg going to sleep, which is common with amputees. You have to consciously tell your leg to move. So I'm gonna break everything I can down in my memory of this is how I can improve on the skiing with an amputee. I'm gonna do a lot of research. I'm gonna be contacting Lee because he's got more experience than me. He's a very knowledgeable person, and if I can gain 5% off Lee, 5% here, 5% there, I hopefully skiing again will be a lot more efficient for me, and less falling over.
Hey, I told you, if you don't fall over, you're not trying hard enough.
Well, I've been trying very hard this weekend.
Lee, what do you reckon about that?
Well, thank you very much, Ray. That was very nice of you to say that. I think the most important thing to say is that each and every amputation is unique, so everyone's circumstances are going to be completely different. I come from a background of being an MST, lots of experience in Norway, and I was a Basie Nordic instructor.
What does MST mean?
MST is military skiing teacher, which is... So I went out and taught Marines how to ski every year. For me personally, there's things I can still do, which is going along the flat and up the hill. I find going downhill with any control really difficult because I haven't got an ankle to push out to get the right angle for your ski to form a snowplow, which is the most common way of turning in cross-country skis. And for me, I get a pain both walking and skiing that builds and builds and builds and builds. It's almost like a sciatic pain, and I have to take my leg off, which I've done now, just to rest it. Sometimes I can go up to an hour without doing that, but the more tired I get, the shorter the distance between doing that is. So it's been... Bits of it have been challenging and bits of it have been absolutely fantastic.
Cracking week. Been a real privilege to be invited out to support these guys and girls. It's been quite tough physically, quite tough emotionally at times, but it's been really good to help them out. I've enjoyed it and I hope they've enjoyed it. Has really been a big experience for all of us.
And how do you feel about not getting the crossing under your belt?
I think we're all gutted, but I certainly know myself and Ray have made it our mission to clock up as many kilometres as close to our 140 kilometre target. And we'll be pretty close by the end of today. We went out last night for a night ski, did a ski during the day yesterday, getting closer and closer, and see where we end up at the end of the week.
Right, Billy, what sort of week have we had as a team? And have they got over the maybe the disappointment of not doing the crossing?
Well, they were disappointed, so we didn't do the crossing, but what we've done since has brought them all together the way that we expected to bring them together. You know, they can recognise that now. They can recognise the fact that they get out each day and get to the end of the day together, well, as individuals as well as a team, is as good as anything that we had originally planned. So it's been a good week.